Hey everyone, my name is Coach Aileen Wu. I am an Olympic weightlifting coach, and this is my reaction to the 2020 CrossFit Games Women's Snatch Speed Ladder. Here we go. So before we review the actual Snatch Speed Ladder, let's talk about it, okay? So on the scheme of things, we have barbell cycling and we have your max Oli lifts. They're kind of completely different sports, almost completely different lifts. Like your Isabel or Grace, 30 reps per time, and your 1 rep max, give it your all, let's see everything you have. Where does the Snatch Speed Ladder fall? It falls closer to this spectrum. And I actually really like this event. It's actually really similar to a 1RM like max lift in that it's pretty heavy, right? Like back a couple years ago at the CrossFit Games, girls were going for 195, 200, 205. So at 185 your max lift, it's pretty damn close, but it does continue to test how good you are at your positions, and are you good enough? Is your margin of error big enough that you can just walk up to a barbell, have it not be exact, pick up the bar and go, and within what, 5 to 20 seconds, pick up the next barbell and do the same thing even though it's heavier. I know it's really heavy for a lot of people, but for these athletes, even with the work they've done, it's not that heavy, and they still have time to get tight on the bar and lift. So it's testing your capacity, it's testing your margin of error, and it's testing how well you know the movement. So I actually really like this event. It's gonna be a little difficult to react because we don't have quite the ideal angles for us to watch it, but it's gonna be a fun event. It's still gonna test their knowledge, their strength, their knowing of the lifts. And the people who win it, honestly, are probably the same people that would have won if it were 1RM. So here we go, let's get these lifts. All right, here we go, women's snatch ladder. Start, ready, and we're starting at 145, 150, 155. Let's see what happens. All the girls run up to the bar. Tia's got it up first, beautiful smooth lift. Notice when they walk up to the barbell, it's kind of a close enough, right? You put your feet under the barbell, you get kind of tight and you lift the bar. So it's a question of margin of error. How good are you with your margin of error? How tight can you be? How well can you execute the lift in that short period of time? I'll talk about it in a little bit of a moment. Oh, here we go, Haley Adams. Okay, we can talk about this one a little bit more. Here we go. Haley Adams, not known to be one of our stronger lifters. So see, it's right that she takes a little bit longer to put her feet under the bar and plant them, but notice on that lift she missed it by a very little bit, like just a little bit more she would have had that. And what you notice especially is she doesn't get tied up right off the floor, and there's a lot of space between her and the barbell right above the knee where it's crucial for it to be really close on her. Here, that on this one, she didn't even extend as much, I would say. Well, she kind of did and she didn't. She cut this part of the extension short, but did give this part of the extension a little bit more emphasis. So on that last one, she made it, but a little adjustments and she could have made it more easily on the first one. So keeping it closer from above the knee and then giving it more of an extension, and she's got it. So let me talk a little bit more about what I mean for margin of error, right? So let's say Tia Toomey. I don't know what her actual 1RM snatch is, but let's say it's 250, right? And let's say Haley Adams, her 1RM snatch is like 160, 165. So Tia-Clair Toomey has a much bigger margin of error with these lifts. And so what that means is when she walks up to the barbell, it doesn't have to be that exact and her still be able to move the barbell and make it. Generally, you guys know that I teach, you walk up to the barbell, you look down and you look at your feet relative to the barbell. What does that look like? You need to make it match. Well, in an event like this, you don't get that luxury, right? You gotta go fast. They're dropping one person off after every event or after every round. So you go up to the bar, you gotta get close enough, pick up the barbell and go. I still would like the athlete to get a little bit tight before they actually lift it up off the bar, but it doesn't have to be as tight as if it were a 1RM. But again, let's qualify that. That's only if your margin of error is big enough and if your 1RM is big enough. If you have a situation like Haley Adams who struggled here with her 155, then all the other things apply because this is her 1RM, or it's close enough to that. So you gotta get feet under the bar, you gotta get hands on the bar, you gotta get tight, and then you pick it up off the bar. All those check marks, you gotta check them all off, all those foundational things. But let's dig a little bit more into Haley Adams before we go into round 2. Feet under the bar, but she doesn't really make a point of super getting set, right? She doesn't make a point of really knowing where her feet are, really getting set, tightening up against the barbell. It's kind of like feet under the bar lift. And with Haley Adams, with her strength level, she doesn't have that luxury that Katrin or Brooke or Tia have. So again, feet under the bar. She isn't as tight. You still see a lot of gap between her and the barbell above the knee, but she gives it more of an extension. So let's look at this a little bit slower. So here we go, feet under the bar. Notice she isn't looking at what her feet are, and I get this question a lot. Obviously she's looking down, Aileen, she's looking at what her feet are. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is she's stepping up to the barbell and she's not paying attention to where they are relative to the barbell. So when you don't know where they are relative to the barbell, you're not sure that that position is the same every time you step up to the barbell. So yeah, she kind of does a casual glance down. She knows her feet are there, but where are they in relation to the barbell? That she's not sure about, and I know she's not sure about it because she doesn't make a point to make it match. You watch an Olympic lifter, but they'll put their feet under the barbell and they'll wiggle and they'll make sure that matches exact before they even bend down to put their hands on the barbell. So that's what I'm talking about. So here we go, feet under the barbell, hands on barbell, kind of squirming a little bit. From here, notice she doesn't get tight. Her butt doesn't even get down. There's no concept of getting tight. And when I talk about getting tight on the barbell, think about getting tight on the deadlift, right? Feet under the bar, hands on bar, you really get tight before you pick up. With Haley Adams, feet under the bar, hands on bar, she's already going. She's not even down there for very long. From here, she goes to pick up the barbell. Good thing though, there isn't any like slack in the barbell. The back doesn't come up, the butt doesn't shoot up, so that is great. There does seem to be a leaning towards one side. She looks like she's leaning towards the left. Maybe her left leg is stronger than her right. Picking up the barbell, she's staying over the bar. This I actually really like a lot. But look how much space is between her and the barbell at this point at above the knee. That continues, right? So from here, and now we see the early arm bend. So we're losing a little bit power here with the early arm bend. Her hips are coming forward a little bit to match that barbell. And here she's jumping. Actually not bad because she's leaning back into it. She sat on her heels a little bit longer to go into that extension, but it is a tiny bit short. I would like Haley Adams to have her grip a little wider because it looks like she has the early arm bend, not only to keep it close, but also to sit it in that hip pocket. So with her arms a little bit longer, she'll get more height into that barbell. It'll be easier to keep it tighter, and she'll get more height on the barbell just because her arms are longer. She does a decent lean up and back. She's pulling herself down and around the barbell, but here she has enough height, but her transition of like pulling and getting tight under the barbell, what it means to pull the body under, not quite, and it is forward of her just a little bit. So between the two, here you see the struggle, she misses it, but it's only by a little bit, right? So you can imagine if she just kept it a little bit tighter from above the knee, or if she was more ready for the receive, she should have had that lift. So let's compare this with lift number 2. Same as before, not really looking. Same as before, doesn't get tight. This one, her butt did come up right off of the start, just a little bit, but she does a great job of staying over. She's stabilizing herself, very nice. And from here, look, there's still a huge gap between her and her barbell. But this time, on this one, she shifts her hip forward a little bit to meet that barbell. Let's see how that plays out for her. You also were starting to see that little early arm bend. She scoops under it. So what I mean is she's here, she's bent, and now she's scooping under for her hips to meet that barbell. She is more forceful with the jump up though, and with pulling the arms. So for this one, she does make more of an effort to give it a forceful jump up, and she's pulling up more with the arms. And now she's pulling herself down under the barbell. There's a little bit of looseness, but here she looks more tight. And because with the little bit more extension and with the arms, it's a little more over her, she was more ready for the receive. It was in a better position, and she got the snatch. Again, it looks like she favors the left leg, pushing off on the left leg a little bit. I'm not sure if there's a strength and balance there, but nicely done, Haley Adams, 155. Thanks for watching my reaction to this part of the 2020 Snatch Speed Ladder. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to hit me up and work with me, check me out at www.wulift.com. Thanks guys, have a great day.